I've had a lot of patients asking me this recently, and the question is, should I get a COVID booster shot? And to be honest, as a resident doctor, the answer is kind of meh. Just a couple days ago, the FDA Advisory Board voted 16-2 against recommending a COVID booster shot for all adults, but they did unanimously agree on recommending it for adults over the age of 65 or those at high risk for severe COVID infection. Apparently tomorrow is when the FDA is going to officially announce whether they are accepting or rejecting the FDA Advisory Panel's recommendation. So why did they vote 16-2 against recommending it for all adults? Dr. Eric Strong from Strong Medicine, you should definitely check out his YouTube channel, by the way, just put out a really great video detailing the kind of weak and shoddy evidence that was provided to the FDA advisory panel. And that's kind of the main reason that it's not being recommended to all adults. To summarize his video, there were basically three main pieces of evidence. The first one basically showed that people have waning immunity with the COVID shot. And that's something we already know, and it doesn't necessarily mean that we need to be giving boosters to people. It certainly doesn't prove that boosters helps protect more against COVID infections. And then the second piece of evidence was basically a cohort of 300 people from the original 40,000 plus randomized controlled trial that was done last year. And all it showed was that people who got a booster had increased antibody titers. It didn't show anything about an actual primary outcome such as decreased hospitalization or decreased rates of COVID infection. They also had such a small sample size that side effects from getting a booster shot are really not able to be well evaluated. And we already know that there is a small risk of things like myocarditis in young men and other various side effects from getting the COVID vaccines. So who knows what's going to happen. Finally, they had a third study which only looked at immunocompromised patients, and it was using real world data, which basically meant that it was not a randomized controlled trial, and there was a lot of potential for biases. And so we really can't apply that to getting every single adult to have a booster shot. So that being said, if you are unvaccinated, you definitely need to get vaccinated because the evidence for that is strong. But the booster shot, the evidence, not that great. So we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see if they put out more evidence in the future, and we'll see what happens in the next few days.